Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Welcome back to my weekly live card readings that I do every Monday at 11:30 a.m. ish from different types of decks. My name is Yana Kasperczak, and I'm your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. And it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you to get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison that you find yourself in and build a life and a business that you're not only proud of but excited to wake up to every single day, no matter what. And stop your self-sabotage, stop your procrastination and avoidance, and love yourself and your life and your business or career. So on Mondays I do card readings. Today I decided to pull out a different deck that I haven't used for a while, as it has been calling me. I love deciphering dreams, and I do this for myself almost every single day. And I say almost every single day because some days I find it's almost a little bit more challenging to remember my dreams. But, I mean, what's life if it's not a challenge, right? Typically, if we don't remember our dreams, we can spend a little bit of time by simply focusing and thinking about them, and a dream starts coming back to our memory, and then we can decipher it. But today I wanted to allow the shaman's dream help us in guiding our path and reminding us of what we need to be reminded of today and going forward. So I'm just going to pull out one card. Those of you that might be new to this group and you're just seeing this card reading for the first time, I typically just do one card and anything, and then I read from the book, and anything that also comes through as I'm doing the reading, I don't hold it back, I share it. Sometimes it might not be very comfortable because the truth is not always comfortable. But once we know something, we can't unknow, and we can't put it back in the tube, so to speak. So here we go. No putting this one back in the tube. So today's card is Perfect Storm. Ooh, look at that beauty. Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. Isn't this what this whole group is about? Is helping everyone to get their shit together so they can have the courage to step into their new life. And sometimes we need a shit ton of courage. And it comes with fear, with its own fear, with its own discomforts as well, doesn't it? So let's see what the book actually holds for us. And I'm not sure if this is a raven or a crow. Those two are actually different, even though they look the same. And actually, look at the number as well, 44. So those of you who follow numerology, I invite you to check that out and see what that number 44 means to you. And, okay. Here we go. Yes, Cleo, yes. Pardon my cat, she likes to announce her presence. She is a vocal girl, and this is those of you who believe in spirit animals. This is my spirit animal. Let me give her some space so she can climb on here. And she has been teaching me and all my cats, and just cats in general, to be myself, to accept myself, and speak up for myself as well, without waiting for somebody else to speak up for me. Good morning, Kimberly, to you as well. Thank you for being on here. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? Good sweet Monday, Lisa says. Lisa says, weird, vicious visual ones as I go through some deep shit. Birthday messages. Woof. Yeah, this one is definitely going to be the one that will remind you what life is about. Life, it was never meant to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. For a period of time, it might feel like that, but if we choose the easy route, life, before you know it, becomes really hard and challenging. But if we get in the habit of tackling the hard shit and choosing to do the hard things, then life becomes easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's how it always works. Hello, Cleo. Okay, so let's get into this. An invitation to act now. The courage to step into life, sheltering from turbulence. I love your persistence, Cleo, but sometimes it is not the perfect timing when you're reminding me to be persistent, right? When the perfect storm appears, it cautions you to be ready for an exciting, if turbulent, time. So exciting times are coming, and with excitement it comes its own turbulence. Just think about the roller coaster ride itself. There is so much excitement for the child, even for the adult, to go on a roller coaster ride. So much excitement, and yet there's also fear in that, and you know there's going to be turbulence, there's going to be lots of ups and downs, and yet you still go on that ride. You still choose to put yourself in your life in the hands of the universe, trusting that you will get off this ride in one piece. Right? Right or right? And you still do it because you put so much trust in the universe. This is what this card is asking you to do as well. To put that much trust in the universe, in the roller coaster of life. The one, with a roller coaster, you see where it starts, you see where it ends, you see the path, you see all the ups and downs, you see them. And yet when you go on it, you experience it not exactly in the same way that you saw them. And in life, you don't see the ups and downs. You don't see them coming. It's like the roller coaster ride that takes you through a tunnel and you don't know which way it's going to go. And it's all pitch black. Once in a while you might see some light and you might see where if you're going down or you're going up, but you don't see it. And this is how life is as well. Is that you don't see the ups and downs. You can navigate it a little bit here or there, but you don't fully see them. You can anticipate what is coming your way based on the work that you have been doing, but you can't fully predict. So I feel like this is the card that's just reminding you to trust in the universe, release, and actually, because you can't really release control, you gotta practice releasing control and practice letting go. Everything is in the practice. Perfection itself does not exist. It's just progress itself. So focus on the progress that you are working towards, releasing control and letting go of expectations. Because in the end, when you set up expectations, you're really just premeditating your own disappointments and resentments, and you don't enjoy that. And in order for you to feel like life is easy peasy lemon squeezy, you gotta do the hard things, and the hard things are letting go of control, letting go of expectations, letting go of even your goals and dreams that you have, having them, but not having the attachment and the expectation of that they're going to work out in the way that you want them to work out. They're going to work out in the way that they're meant to work out, but not usually and not always in the way that you want them to. Because the universe knows what's for the greater good for you, and you're not there yet. The universe is ahead of you and you're just catching up. We are all living life forward, but we understand life backwards. We understand how we lived our life by reflecting back, by looking back, but we are living our life forward. And we can't see how we're going to live life forward. Like I said, we can anticipate, we can plan, but be okay when things don't go according to plan. Howdy, Callie, to you as well. How are you doing, beautiful? How was your weekend? So, the winds are picking up. Just in case some of you are hopping on and you're curious about what card is the reading for today, is Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life. And you can rewatch the beginning, the replay, to see what you missed, the chicken nuggets, the golden nuggets that you missed in the beginning, which was not a very long beginning. I don't see how long we've been on. The winds are picking up, and you need to make sure that you are close to the eye of the storm, or you will be buffeted by gusts that may take you far from where you need to be. So you want to be in the eye of the storm. You want to be in the storm. The goal here is not to necessarily avoid the storm. I'm moving closer so my cat takes the sign that I no longer have the space for her here. She can go behind me. Everything that you want is in the eye of the storm. Life is chaos. Existence is chaos. But chaos is just a word that at this point, it's a word that describes all existence, but we have negative attachment and understanding of what the word chaos means. But like, look at nature. There's wind, there's storms, there's thunderstorms, and it is chaos. That's what nature is. It's chaos. The river flowing, it's chaos, but it's existence, and we feel that chaos within ourselves as well. We just haven't learned how to accept it and be okay with it and go with the flow. There's resistance that is in the way, that comes from the default program that we all have received from before we were born, before we even had a say, before we even understood life or anything of life. And now that we are awakening, we start to recognize ourselves and our patterns that are serving us and those that are no longer serving us anymore. And the choice becomes, with each and every day, becomes a little bit more clear, a little bit more clear. But the reason why you continue to feel pain and suffering is because you're not allowing yourself to make the changes that you know you need to make in order for you to live the life that you know you want to live. Because the life that you have right now has been created through your default programming, where you weren't fully aware or awake for the life that you have created so far. And now that you're here with this life and you're not fully happy, the changes that need to be made are up to you to do. And it's not easy, and that's why most people are not making the changes, because it's hard and everybody is scared and intimidated and feels frozen and paralyzed and goes into the self-sabotage by doing the hard things. So therefore, avoiding doing the hard and choosing what's easy on a subconscious level, which is attached to the default programming. So there's that. The key is to remain centered and balanced and bear witness as the forces build and intensity. So the forces will build and things will intensify, and your job is to remain centered, grounded, calm, and peaceful as much as you can, which means if you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to figure out why. Pause, breathe, calm your nervous system down. Maybe even meditate. Maybe go for a walk. Do what you know is going to help you get clarity and calmness within you. But most importantly, see and understand what is overwhelming you, because that is how you actually learn to let go of things that are not serving you. Because you might be feeling that chaos within you, that storm broom within you, but you're feeling emotionally charged and you don't know why. And in order for you to get past it or get through it, you need to know why. Because if you don't know why, it's like the roller coaster now. If you don't know if you're going up or if you're going down, you're just gonna feel that chaos. But once you know what and why, it just becomes easier. You already know what to expect and you know what to do about it. Let me take a peekaboo at the comments. Lisa says, yes, I struggle with never being someone's priority, especially with my big birthday next Saturday. That is challenging to live with, when you feel like you're not anybody's priority and people are not putting you first. And that is actually a reality of everyone. Everyone is typically prioritizing themselves and not anyone else. And like a cat, for example. To my cat, she doesn't care what I'm doing. She doesn't care that I'm here trying to do a card reading with less amount of distraction. She doesn't care that when she rubs her face on my face that her hair is going to be all over and it's going to itch my nose. She doesn't care for that. She's here to have her needs met. And every human is at the roots is like that as well, because it comes from the self-preservation. It comes from I need to get this, I need to get that, and doing what we can. And more often than not, especially for women in this group, it's going to come from the caregiver part, where you put other people first, you take care of them, but you still need your own needs met. And sometimes you run out of time and you don't have them met. But in the end, you're still coming from a place of taking care of everyone, because this is one of your priorities. This is one of your own basic needs that need to be met by being a caregiver, by being a nurturer to others, especially as a woman. And it's okay to feel and also in a way recognize the truth of human existence, that we are not going to be a priority for anyone. So we must make ourselves a priority, because in reality, no matter how much someone cares and loves us, they're still going to make sure that they take care of themselves first and then everyone else. And of course, there are many of us who take care of everybody else and not have any time for ourselves. And that does come from that deeply rooted program that has taught us to self-sacrifice no matter what. And you've lived it, you've experienced it, and you know that is not the way to living a life that feels free, that feels good. Which means, what are you going to do to not put the feeling of feeling important and a priority on others, but do so for yourself? How can you make sure that you see yourself as a priority, and in a way start seeing all the different ways how people are putting you as a priority as well. Because our perception is our reality. So if our perception is that nobody cares, nobody loves me, nobody takes care of me, I have lived there, I have existed in that way for a period of time, and until I started shifting and seeing how other people love me, because I also had this expectation of unconscious expectation based on my default programming, how I needed people to show me love and express love to me, and when they do it, then I know they love me. But reality is everybody is expressing love in a different way and showing that they care in a different way, and sometimes it's not the way that I want it, but it's in the way that they know how. So taking a moment to pause and think about everyone in your life, as I once did, thinking about everyone in my life, how this person is showing up for me, how, what their love language is, how they're expressing love to me. There's people in my life who are very blunt and will tell me the truth about everything and anything, and I would in a way hurt my feelings because I'm a sensitive person, and I've learned how to take things personally, and at the same time I've relearned how to not take things personally. And while other people, their love language is to be critical, but that's the language that is the opposite of love for me. So learning how others express love, and at the same time not just letting it go, but expressing to them how they can communicate with me in the way that I would like as well. And I will do my best to communicate with them in the way that they would want me to do as well. Hey Rebecca, how are you doing? Beautiful. Rebecca says, nice to see you. Lisa says, oh my god, yes, I'm attracted to storms, but man, are they the best lessons. Oh, 100%. They are the biggest lessons of them all. Rebecca says, hashtag live. Lisa says, holy shit, amen. Kayla says, I'm having surgery on Thursday, centered, lol. Yeah, it sounds like there is quite a bit of centering you gotta do over and over and over again. So when you go into the surgery, you are as centered as you possibly can be, and focus on the positive outcome, the positive results as much as possible. I know it's the challenge is the negativity is going to come through, but just like an unwanted guest in your house, you don't have to open the door and says, come on in, welcome, do what you want, enjoy your life here. No, you close the door to the unwelcome guests. That is your house, that is your mindset, and say, no thank you, I am not spending my time and my energy and my life in this, even if it's for a short moment. I welcome this guest or that guest. And typically in the I am statements, it is best. Where else was Lisa said, especially when the other puts themselves in survival mode because that's all they know. And yeah, that's a survival mode that a lot of women are very familiar with, especially in this group, where it's like having the blinders on, and it goes in the default programming that it's challenging to rewrite. But what makes it easier is center yourself, calm the nervous system down, answer those questions that are coming through, because the mind is going to be asking questions. If you're not able to see and pause and hear those questions, start writing, and you'll start noticing what is coming through for you, because just the hand itself is the messenger, right, to help you see what chaos and what storm is brewing right now within you. And once you see it, it becomes easier to navigate the treacherous waters. Pun intended. And Rebecca says, yes, if we make someone responsible for our happiness, we give them the control of our happiness. That is very well said. And we don't want to give control, and we don't want to give that power to anyone. And also, this is actually a perfect reminder. I hear this all the time. I myself have been there, done that for a period of my time. And that is when we blame others for things or experiences or for how things are in our life. I am this way because of this, of that experience. I am this way because of that person. I am this way because of this or that. Or things are this way because of that. And it is what it is. Because of this or because of that. You're giving your power away. You're saying that there's nothing you can do. You're saying that there's nothing I can do because of this, because of that, because of that. And therefore, you will be less likely to try. But shifting it instead of this happened because of that, great. Now I've learned, and this is what I can do about it. And I am not here to blame my past. I'm not here to blame my present or the people or the circumstances or whatever it is. That I got this, and I am responsible, not entirely responsible, but I take responsibility for my role in this, my role in that, my role in that, and becoming clear of what responsibility you're taking. Hence, you're also learning the lesson. And then what are you going to do about it? What are you going to change to make sure or ensure that this doesn't happen again? That doesn't happen again. That you set boundaries, as one example, with others or with yourself. That you're going to show up. That you are going to make sure that you become priority in your own life, and you will prioritize yourself in which ways. How are you going to prioritize yourself, your self-love, your self-care, your well-being? And how are you going to make sure it's going to happen every single day? Are you going to be your own accountability partner? It might work, and I'm speaking from personal experience and experience with every single woman that I have worked with. It will work initially, but before you know it, and it happens so seamless that you don't even notice it, that you will no longer keep yourself accountable for those things, and you will need to enroll someone else to keep you accountable in reaching those goals and those dreams and those plans that you have created and set up and come up with for yourself and for your life and for your business and for whatever part of your existence. And there's different ways of how you can do that. Okay? So, let me finish with the comments before we continue with the reading. Lisa says, I am a huge enabler. Been there, done that. Now I still catch myself there because the default programming is so deeply ingrained that now I'm in a place where I catch myself and I shift in a way that feels right and authentic to me. If they say the simplest thing, just a statement, I have to freaking fix it, but then get mad when I call them out with those bad decisions during a toxic state. It sounds like practicing saying no might be one of the habits that you want to practice every single day. And that means whenever someone comes to you, and this is actually very typical for empaths, by the way, you become a magnet for everybody else's issues, problems, things that they're going through, challenges, that you become almost like the dumping ground, and you become someone that is going to come and fix and do things for them. But they are the ones responsible for their own life and for things that are happening in their life. You are not a fixer. You don't even get paid for those things in the way that you want to get paid. You are probably giving and giving and giving, and then those people are taking and taking and taking and not even giving back in the way that feels like an equal exchange. So setting a boundary with yourself that next time somebody asks me for help, any kind of help, anything, that before you say yes, you're going to ask, or more like you're going to tell them, I need time to think about it and I will let you know the answer. And take the time that you need in order for you to get very clear on whether it's going to be yes or no. And even if it's in the moment that you right away know it's going to be a no, then say no without an explanation. Just say, no, I cannot do that right now, right? Or I cannot do that. That I trust that you're more than capable of doing it yourself, or ask someone else. Help them to go elsewhere if you know who, but at the same time just leave that for them to figure out. When things are done for people, I'll use an example of children. Most of you are mothers. You didn't spend time doing homework for your kids. You didn't do your kids' projects to get them ready for class and the presentation, right? Why? The reason why is because you knew that if you did their homework for them and if you did their projects for them, you're taking away their education and you're robbing them of an opportunity to learn and become knowledgeable and stronger in those areas. Then why are you doing that for other adults? It is no different than when we went to school and our parents didn't do our homework. Then now we are the children and the students of the universe and are meant to learn on our own, independent learning, and yet you find teachers and guides to help you on that journey, to get you to complete, to learn this lesson, to learn that lesson, to pass the exam, to go through that, to go through this, as you once did in school, and you did that on your own. And now you are enabling other students and you're doing their homework for them instead of trusting that they will figure it out. No matter what they're going through, they will figure it out. When you start looking at everything that people are going through as this is an opportunity for you to learn and grow and evolve and become not only the best version of yourself, but to also uncover what kind of life you want to live. And by me doing that homework for you, I'm not doing you any favors whatsoever. And looking at it in the way of, as a parent, it is much easier for me to do the homework for my kids. Much easier. It's so much harder and stressful to watch them struggle, right? But it is selfish of me to do the homework for my kids and take away their education because I'm trying to do what's easier for me, and in return I'm making life harder for my kids. Now, wouldn't the same concept apply to our friends, to our peers, to even my clients? I can do a lot of things for my clients, but I don't do that because that's up to them. They're my students and I'm their teacher. A teacher can do the homework for their kids as well. But no, that's not how it works. My job is to help and navigate, to help where I can, to teach, but not do for them. And that's your job. And this is where it becomes so much easier to say no to things, because the no unconsciously is coming from a place, I know you got this. I know you're meant to learn. And by me saying yes, I am taking your opportunity to learn about that lesson or about that experience for me. And I will be the one learning and not you. So therefore, the no becomes easier because you trust that they got everything and the universe will provide. And the universe is giving them that opportunity and you're just taking it for yourself, unconsciously of course, and learning from it for yourself versus when it was meant to be for them. Okay. Lisa says, love you guys, therapy, meet and greet now. Ooh, awesome. I'm excited for you. Love to hear how that goes for you later on, and I'm sure you will be sharing that. Kelly says, thank you. Kimberly says, me too. Rebecca says, yeah, I remember how hard it was to say no without feeling self-hate. That's a great reminder that we feel self-hate when we say no, but instead shifting it to self-love, because not only are you choosing yourself, you're also choosing them by allowing them to learn and grow from that process. And it comes from a place of love when we say no, because we love someone and we know that we want what's best for them. And what's best for them is to learn everything they can on their own. Because once you know something, you can't unknow. And they will know and they will learn from their experiences. They would expect the no, but I would crucify myself for it. There's programming there is stories that you're carrying. This is lots of coaching opportunities in that statement there as well. I'd have a lot of questions, and there would be a whole entire session would be on this one. And then Rebecca says, yep, and yep. Okay, now let's continue with the reading. Quite a bit came through there as well. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around. And recognize how little of it you truly need. Really, I feel like this is where the whole conversation with the no. Notice how the loose stuff is starting to fly around. The things that once mattered, they really don't matter anymore, and it just feels like detached involvement is the phrase that comes through. This is something that was one of the hardest things for me as a coach to relearn, to be involved in a detached way with all of my clients. And in some moments I'm still learning. For the majority of it, I am detached because of a lot of things that I've already shared with just trusting that you got everything, and I don't need to hold your hand. I just walk beside you and, check in once in a while, so to speak. Let go of those thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that clutter your heart and cloud your mind. Then the storm will be absolutely perfect for you. If you wonder what you might lose during the perfect storm, know that it is those things we are most attached to that are taken first. Detached involvement, my friends, detached involvement. And because when the things that you're attached to the most, that's where your universe is going to challenge you. I'll use this example. I've used this many times and I will continue to use it. I watched a show about glass blowing, glass making, and one of the ladies in the show had shared one of the lessons that she learned early on in her lessons, in her training, in her career to become a glass blower, and that the teacher asked all the students to pick your favorite piece out of all the pieces that you've made. Pick your favorite piece, and everyone picked their favorite piece. The next challenge in the lesson that this teacher taught everyone was, now I want you to break and shatter that piece. And of course you can imagine it was challenging and it was hard for everyone, because now you have such an attachment to something. And this is how the universe works. It's teaching you to break those attachments, to live in the chaos that's called life, and trusting the process and letting go and not having these attachments, because you are meant to learn to have detached involvement with everything that you're living with, everything that you're going through, everything that is life. And the sooner you learn that lesson, the easier life will become. It's just whatever you're going through, trust that that is for the greater good of not just you, but for everyone involved. So, know that it is those things we're most attached to that are taken first, as if life were trying to unburden us of our righteous self-importance. Let it all go with the wind. The less you resist the change brought by the perfect storm, the happier you will be. Ride the winds to your next destination. Embrace the rain or snow. I'm just picturing you sitting on a cloud and trusting that the wind is going to bring you to where you're meant to go and blowing you in the right direction. But in order for you to get there, you need to pull up all of those anchors that you have that are referred to as the attachments that are jammed into the soil, into the ground, and holding you anchored in where you are, because you're not going to get to where you want to get to with all of these anchors. You got to pull them up. You got to put them on this cloud and detach yourself from all of these attachments and trust that the universe will bring you to where you're meant to. And it will be like a smooth sailing on the cloud, and you will know when to get off the cloud to anchor yourself, but at the same time not really anchoring yourself. It's just, at this point, it will be no more anchoring. It's just keep flowing and going and going. Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. It makes me think of, don't be against the wind. It's you trying to argue with nature and saying, hey, I can be against the wind. It's gonna be just fine. It's not. It's not gonna be fine when you try to argue and say, no, you're wrong, I'm right. Trust that the wind is gonna blow in it, whatever direction it's meant to blow. The water is going to flow in a direction that is going to be flowing. It is not going to change direction. You can argue all you want, but it doesn't change the facts. It doesn't change the truth. So, don't be against the wind. Right? Remember that every time you try to argue with nature, you lose. We are one with nature. And through so many generations, we have been programmed generation after generation, and that's why it's in our blood to be disconnected with nature. And now so many of us are trying to get reconnected with nature. Keep going, keep reconnecting. Go down that rabbit hole and learn what that means and looks like and sounds like to you, and how you want to reconnect with nature that feels right and authentic to you. Go with the wind with this one as well. The perfect storm can also be a call for you to seize the moment. What is it, something in your life right now that you feel like you being called to seize the moment and take that opportunity and not let it pass you? Because it is also the universe providing you these opportunities, allowing you to seize the moment. And if you say no, it'll take longer for the universe to bring it back to you, to come back around. So think of what it is and how are you going to seize that moment. There might be a great opportunity that you need to take advantage of right now. Carpe diem. Seize the moment. Here, time is of the essence. It may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Life is not promised, it's not guaranteed. If there's something that you want in your life, an experience that you want in your life, because everything is an experience, seize the moment. Say yes to it. Go for it. Stop putting your life on pause for everyone else. You gotta choose you and do what you want to do. Initially, it's gonna feel wrong. You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel like you're being selfish, and you're gonna beat yourself up because that's your default programming that you have received as a good girl, that you're meant to be putting everyone else's needs, wants, and desires first. But when will your time come? Never if you don't allow it to. Never if you don't start saying yes to yourself and your needs and your wants and your experiences that you want. It will never come. And the moment that it will be the moment that you will start choosing yourself. And choosing yourself and your dreams and your goals is absolutely not selfish. That's what everybody else will tell you, that wants you to put them first, wants you to do things for them. But those that understand, they will not think it's selfish whatsoever. They will be cheering you on. So, it may be gone shortly, so do not hesitate. Go ahead, bite off more than you can chew, and take the storm on in all its terrifying greatness. Experiencing the fullness of life, you will succeed. How is this perfect storm reading for you guys? Huh? I think it's pretty perfect for me. And the image itself is just, I love crows. I love ravens, crows. To me, they're very similar. One, the crows are the best way, they're independent. That's the word that's coming through. Crows are independent, while maybe it's the other way around. The ravens are independent and crows are the ones that stay in the flock. I think the crows are the ones in the flock. That's why they say, what do you call a flock or group of crows? You call it murder. While ravens are independent and more intelligent. But don't quote me. Go look it up if this feels like something that you want to check out, or share it in the comments below. Regardless, to me, they're similar, and I'm more towards the combination of both, where there's times where it's so important and crucial to be independent, while others, the tribe and the community, is the place to be and the place to do, I guess, to do your things. And that's the storm. See where the storm is? Your internal storm, what you're going through, does not exist outside of you. That's why whatever you're going through, no one can see it. It's not something that is written anywhere. And if no one else can see it, how can you see it? How can you understand it? And the way that you can is pausing, taking a moment to write it all out or speak it all out and see what that storm is, understand it, and learn from it. And once you understand it, once you see it, it becomes so much easier and simpler. Something that in your mind and in your heart feels like chaos, when you put it out on a piece of paper, and that's why I refer to this as brain dumping everything that's in your brain. You see it for what it is, and you will be surprised just by how silly some of those things are that were causing to spin out of control, and they no longer have residence in your home. They're no longer paying rent or taking up space within you and allowing space for other things that are much more worthy of taking up space and paying rent. And usually they don't even pay rent. So let me quickly see if there's other comments that I saw come through. Rebecca says, my 6-year-old has a really hard time accepting no because his first 4 years he never got a no. That is a powerful lesson for the both of you to learn now, and help him accept a no and help you to give a no and understand. And it's an opportunity for both. Kimberly says, go with the flow. Exactly. Rebecca says, but once we connect, it happens fast. Yes, it definitely does. Once we are in alignment, it's just smooth sailing. It's like, just imagine sitting on that cloud and you pulled up all of the anchors except one, and that one is just dragging on the ground. How quickly will that cloud be moved by the wind if one anchor is just dragging in the ground, versus how quickly will that cloud move when all of the anchors are up on the cloud and there's nothing dragging behind? You'll move so much quicker and easier without any anchors potentially getting stuck by something else and attached to something else that feels seemingly important, like that tree or that bush, figuratively speaking, of course. But when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's just a tree and just a bush. I don't need that one. There's better ones. So pull up all your anchors, allow that wind to blow the cloud that you're sitting on to where you're meant to be. Kimberly says, I'm trying not to let fear keep me from what I want. That's the job of fear, by the way, is to keep you safe and protected, because through your life you have learned to keep yourself as safe as you can and not get hurt. And that's why fear has this power to jump to the worst case scenario, that if I do this, I'm gonna die. If I do that, I'm gonna die. If I do this, I'm gonna die. Like it feels like it's the end of the world, end of life, and it goes there, our mind goes there. That's what I refer to as the mental prison. Fear is the biggest prison guard of all parts of the mindset. It keeps us safe by continue to play small, continue to stay in your comfort zone, keep doing what you're doing because it's working. And if you start questioning things, if you continue doing the things that you're doing, they ain't working. Otherwise, you would be where you want to be. If you keep playing small, yes, you'd be safe, but you would not feel free. You would not feel safe. You find yourself in a lot more uncomfortable places. So fear, more often than not, and that's one of the things that I do with my clients, is to help in identifying the fear that is meant to be avoided and the fear that is meant to be chased and go after. That it's really coming back to, is this for the greater good of me? Does this feel right and authentic to me? And then yes or no, and then you go in a direction and dig a little bit deeper to also see if it's in alignment with your values, with where you're trying to go, with who you're trying to become. Yes or no. That's how it is. There's no maybes. There's no in between. There's yes or no. There's this path or there's that path. And if it's no, then you don't do it. And if it's yes, how are you going to do it? How are you going to make sure that you keep going after this fear and working through all the compartments and parts of that fear that will be coming up for you? They will be, to make sure that you break through that fear and not get rid of it and not avoid it. But fear is, more often than not, is an indicator of which direction we're supposed to be going towards, which direction we should be moving, what is the next thing that we're meant to be doing. Because we feel fear when we step outside of our comfort zone. We feel fear when we know there's going to be growing pains, and our programming does not allow for us to embrace change and grow and feel comfortable with it. And that's why that fear comes up. And you are meant to do everything that is right in order for you to break through that fear and be ready for whatever is on the other side that is meant to be yours. In order for you to achieve your goals and dreams, you must become someone different. So you are ready to have the things that you want to have and keep them. Because if you're not ready, they will be lost just as easily. And you get ready in the process of getting there. And it's everything. Many of you have achieved your dreams and your goals. And what you have also experienced is an enormous amount of self-doubt, fear, worry of I'm not ready, or I'm gonna lose it all, just to name a few. There's a lot more other ones that that you have experienced, which is rooted in I'm not good enough, and who am I gonna be if all of this is gone and lost. But when you work towards your goals and dreams, you become ready, because you don't achieve your goals and dreams. You don't. No matter what others are telling you, you don't achieve your goals and dreams. You actually grow into them. And that's why I say, in order for you to have the things that you dream about, to have the things that you have listed and outlined as your goals, you must do the things that you have not done before and become a different person than you have never been before, and go through death and rebirth as many times as you need to, in order for you to become the person, the woman that you're meant to be, in order for you to grow into those goals and dreams and have them. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be uncomfortable. And that's what separates winners from losers. And all of you are winners, and that is why you're doing everything that you are meant to do, want to do, and don't want to do, in order for you to grow into your goals and grow into your dreams and live the life that you couldn't even have dreamt of yet. You have an idea, but I'm telling you, you don't have the slightest idea of how amazing your life will be on the other side. You have a little bit of an idea, but when you get there, you will be pleasantly shocked and surprised of how amazing everything is and will be on the other side. The grass is not only greener on the other side, it's so much more thicker and so much more resilient and so much more taller or groomed on the other side. So in order for you to get there, you have to cross a lot of boundaries that you have created within yourself unconsciously, that have kept you in the dark, that have kept you playing small, that have kept you in the avoidance, self-sabotage, procrastination, the not good enough messages, the not yet messages, just to name a few. So that is all that I have for you all, beautiful ladies. Thank you for being on here with me. Thank you for sharing yourself with me and with everyone on here. If you've missed the beginning, you can go back and watch the replay and rewatch it as many times as you need to or want to, because you're going to hear something different each and every time that you listen to it. Other than that, I will see some of you tomorrow at the Sacred Circle, and those of you who are new to the group, welcome. And if you're interested in checking out the Sacred Circle and what it's about and if it's for you or not, check out the announcement section or the feature section, depending on what device you're using, because on your computer you'll see the announcement sections with the images on there on top. If you're on your device, you will see it as a featured section tab on top of the group, and there'll be a little dot there. I think it'll be either brown or blue or whatever color. You'll see a little dot right above the feature section. Go check it out, see what's in there, what's happening, so you stay up to date with everything and don't miss anything that is happening in the group. And the link to the Sacred Circle is in there as well for those of you who want to register. So we'll see you there. Bethany will be leading tomorrow, I believe. Yep, because last week I led, so Bethany will be leading tomorrow's Sacred Circle. But otherwise, I will see you next Monday for another one of these weekly live card readings that I do in the group. And the group is Heal the Unicorn: Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. In case you're listening to this video, this podcast on a different platform, come check out the group and see if it is for you or not. No worries whatsoever. Keep looking for you, the place that you can call home. So thank you everybody who's been on here interacting with me, watching silently, and those who will be watching in the replay. And until we see each other next time, bye everybody. Bye guys.